Today, we're going to have an honest talk about the Voting Rights Act. It's been the third rail in politics since 1965. Any discussion of it scares the bejeebus out of most commentators and all politicians, but not here at Fight Back Media. Okay, we're going to talk about what it was, what it's become, okay, and what it should look like moving forward. You've heard the talking points. It's sacred. It's outdated. We need it more than ever. Here's the truth. America in 1965 is not America in 2025, no matter what they try to tell you. We're not standing at courthouse steps facing literacy tests, sheriffs with dogs, and poll taxes. Now, of course, that doesn't mean that we've solved every problem either, right? The question is, what kind of law do we need today? Do we still need the 1965 version with Washington babysitting southern states forever? Or do we need a modern framework, one that keeps elections fair and clean without pretending that it's Selma, Alabama? This episode isn't about nostalgia. It's about guardrails, right? Guardrails that protect the vote while keeping power in the hands of the voters. Not bureaucrats, not politicians gaming the map, not activists crying wolf every 2 years. So let's break this down. We'll look at where the Voting Rights Act came from, why it mattered, and why the Supreme Court pretty much gutted it in 2013. And most importantly, what Voting Rights Act 2.0 from Fight Back Media should look like. And I'll warn you right now, my approach isn't for the professional outrage machine. It's practical, simple, and it's designed for grown-ups. Okay, so in 1965, the Voting Rights Act was a nuclear bomb against Jim Crow. It outlawed literacy tests, it banned poll taxes in federal elections, and forced states with a history of discrimination to get permission or pre-clearance before changing voter laws. It worked. Black voter registration in Mississippi jumped from 6% in 1964 to 60%, still too low, by 1969. Voter turnout in the South skyrocketed. Suddenly, politicians had to answer to voters they ignored for a century. Now, that's the victory story, and it does deserve respect. Let's not kid ourselves. The 1965 Act was a blunt tool built for a brutal time. It treats whole states like permanent offenders. Okay. Pre-clearance was meant to be temporary. Did you know that? And it kept getting renewed because Congress didn't want to touch the third rail. Fast forward to 2013, Shelby County versus Holder. The Supreme Court says, hey, Congress, you're still using a 40-year-old formula to decide who's guilty. Times have changed. Update it. Congress didn't, because Congress is French for cowards, right? So pre-clearance died. It just went away. Since then, we've seen a bunch of basically political trench warfare. Texas passes stricter ID laws. North Carolina trims early voting days. Georgia tweaks absentee rules. Critics scream suppression. Supporters say integrity. The problem? both sides fight like it's still 1965. One pretends racism is around every corner. The other pretends no games are ever played. What we know is that both sides are lying. Billy Graham famously said he believed the next move of God would be believers making a difference in the marketplace. In the fall of 2019, Anton Kresick moved to Washington, D.C. And as Anton began his career in the political arena, two things became obvious. Godly principles were lacking on both sides of the aisle, and many organizations were putting profits before people. 7 Weeks Coffee was started to reverse this trend and live out Graham's calling as believers in the marketplace. As a values-based business, 7 Weeks Coffee has a simple and transparent mission. Donate 10%, a tithe, of every sale to pregnancy care centers across the nation. They are committed to earning your trust, not expecting it. So how do they do this? Leading with their values, showing the impact and providing the highest quality product. I am a Christian. I'm conservative. And 7 Weeks Coffee unapologetically supports pregnancy care centers across the nation. Please join us by letting your coffee serve a greater purpose. All right, so let's look at the reality. The South in 2025 is not the South of 1965. Black turnout in Georgia has often equaled or exceeded white turnout. Houston, Dallas, Charlotte, Atlanta are all minority-driven power centers. Demographically, the South is younger, more urban, and more diverse. But manipulation hasn't vanished. It's just gotten slicker. Instead of literacy tests, we get precinct closures with no notice. Instead of poll taxes, we get ID rules that sound fine until you realize the DMV isn't open within 50 miles for half the county. Instead of beating marchers on bridges, we get gerrymandering software slicing neighborhoods into spaghetti shapes. If it's not Jim Crow, it's not Jim Crow, but it's not pure integrity either. It's political trench warfare, like I said. Both parties dig in, and voters are the sandbags. So, what does the South need? It's not babysitting. It's not a blank check for activists. We need a floor, a set of minimum rules that guarantee access and fairness without freezing states in the amber of 1965. Okay, so you are going to want to get a pencil and be able and be able to stop this video because you're going to need to be able to write this stuff down. Here's the VRA 2.0 or VRA 2025. Number one, ID rules that everybody can understand. Driver's license, free state ID, passport, military ID, period. Driver's license, free state ID, passport, or military ID, period. If you don't have one, you get a free ID. No one pays a dime for the free ID. No, if you don't have an ID when you get to the polls, you vote provisionally. A lot of the states are already doing this, so this isn't a big, huge jump. But then you've got 5 days, 5 business days. The election is on Tuesday. You have Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, okay, Monday, Tuesday to cure whatever the problem is. And after that, we are done. It's easy. Number two, voting early voting. Now, there are people who have said, I don't even know why we have to vote early. Why do we have to do that? My son's like, well, you can't, every 2 years, you can't plan to put aside a couple of hours on a random Tuesday. It's normally, especially if national elections is in November, I believe you can. And I believe that too. But what we're trying to do is we're not trying to flip everything on its head. So let's allow for early voting. I personally early vote. I early vote because it allows me an opportunity to participate in um, you know, electioneering on the day of election. So I like to get that. I like to get that out of the way if I can. So let's standardize early voting. 10 days, every state, 10 days. That guarantees at least one weekend. Polls are open consistent hours, no more, no less, long enough to catch shift workers. If you work, if you work at night or you work no matter when you work, and it's short enough to protect ballot integrity. So these early voting things don't start 3 months beforehand and 2 months. That's ridiculous. 10 days, that's it. Number three, precinct stability rules is a rule: 90 to 120-day notice. If a polling place closes or relocates, voters must know 90 to 120 days. That's 3 to 6 months before the election. Not the week up, not just a poster, on a courthouse wall. Mailed ballots, web notice, signage, local media. The only exceptions are emergencies: hurricane, fire, flood, pestilence, whatever, right? That's it. Number four, voter approved changes. Now this is going to be a hard one, but it's got to be done. If politicians want to redraw maps, close precincts beyond a certain threshold, or make some structural changes, the voters themselves must approve it. No more. Oh, we just moved your polling place because I don't know, we felt like it. If it affects more than 10% of voters get to decide. Number five. This is huge. Radical transparency. Wait times posted. So November, I go to the vote. November 4th, I go to the voting website and I look up my precinct and it says, oh, wait times are an hour and 15 minutes. Okay. Well, how's that possible? Because somebody at the site every 15 minutes goes, precinct 339, wait time 1 hour and 55 or hour 15 or 5 minutes or no wait time. Somebody sitting on a computer at the SOE goes, thank you. Easy enough. Ballot cure rates published. How many of those provisional votes became real votes? Publish that number. Chain of custody logs online within 7 days of the election. If there's something to hide, don't hide it. Show the receipts. Build the superstructure such that we can see it. Number six, sunsets and data checks. Any special review mechanism will expire after 5 years unless renewed by fresh data. No permanent scarlet letters on states well, back in 1914, you had this riot in this town and you killed all these black folks. So we are forever going to hold you accountable. No, no. Earn normal status back and you're free. So this is not a left-wing wish list. It is not. And it's not a right-wing crackdown either. It's guardrails for grown-up people and grown-up elections. Hey, y'all. Thanks for watching the show this morning. Listen, I have something that I want you to have that we've been working on. It's a Fight Back Media guide to winning online for the 2026 midterms. When you're online trying to convince, the left that their viewpoint and their mindset is complete booty, because it is, it's trash. But you want to do it in a way that actually works and that we're not just preaching to the choir. Please go to our website, fightbackmedia.com, and download this guide. It's full of really helpful, practical situations. It's a guide that you can share with your friends. You can print it out. It has quizzes and the test. So I really want you to understand the material, and I want to upgrade our presence online, our conservative presence online. So go to fightbackmedia.com, and download your Fight Back Media Guide to Winning Online in 2026. Now, the critics of this are going to come in swinging hard. They'll say, this is pre-clearance in disguise. No, it's not. It's data triggered, it's temporary, and voter approved. And if the numbers don't justify it, then it's over. Some people will say, it's federal overreach. No. It just sets a floor, not a ceiling. You can do whatever you want up here. It just sets the floor. States still run their own elections. They just can't drop below that. They'll say, this burdens poor counties, then fund them. States waste billions of dollars. They can spare a few million for IDs and mobile DMVs that go into areas and say, the mobile DMV will be in your area on Saturday. Bring your birth certificate. Bring whatever you got. Let's see if we can get you a state ID. If we can't get you a driver's license. They'll also say that we can't judge maps because we can't somehow read. That we somehow can't get learned up on it. Wrong. Voters know when they're being sliced up. And if they don't like the map, they'll vote it down. What we call that is accountability. Thanks so much for watching. We appreciate you. Listen, I have something that I want you to have. You can go to our website and you can buy something, our t-shirt that says, no, we will not comply. Because every time we comply, we take that option away from our children. And we take that option of freedom and liberty away from our grandchildren. Go to the fightbackmedia.com website and click on the t-shirt that says, no, we will not comply. And underneath it, it has the nocompliancemovie.com website. And every single shirt that we sell, we'll send 50% of that sale to my friend Chris Han Hall so they can produce the next movie. And whatever work they're doing, we will send 50% of the proceeds to my friend Chris Han Hall. So go to fightbackmedia.com, fightbackmedia.com, and click on the No, We Will Not Comply t-shirt. Okay, so here's the bottom line. The Voting Rights Act was one of the most important laws in American history. It smashed Jim Crow and opened the door for millions. But its job isn't to freeze time. It's to make sure every citizen has a fair shot to cast a ballot and have it counted. Okay, and we don't need to pretend that it's 1965. But we also don't need to shrug and say everything's fine, everything's okay. We need clear ID rules, fair access through 10 days of early voting. We need an honest notice of precinct changes, voter approved for major shifts, and radical transparency. This is not liberal or conservative. It's just clean elections. And if someone can't live with that, maybe their game was never about fairness in the first place. This is the Morning Report. My name is Willie Lawson. Thank you so much for coming. Until we see you again, go out there and learn something, love somebody, and for goodness sakes, y'all take care of yourself. We will see you when we see you. Bye bye now.